So we'll start with painting with the wash in the sky, and I have the warm blue phthalo and the cool blue French ultramarine. So we mix those two together to make a nice light medium sort of blue, and then a tiny touch of rose. And then a ton of water. So pull this wash down and just paint around the white shapes for the waves. Once I get near the horizon, then I'll pull across just a little row of rose. Give that bit of atmosphere that is at the horizon. And then I will do a little row of yellow beneath that. Try to keep it kind of straight line. So now for the water, I have a French ultramarine with a touch of orange and some rose to get a little purple. And I'm pulling that across. And the paint is still a little wet, so it's going to give me a soft edge. If it's shooting up into your sky too much, then you should be on a little more of an angle then, so it won't float back up that way. You want gravity to help hold it down for you. So the whole time I'm pulling down this water, I'm kind of going back and forth with some areas that have a little bit more rose and a little bit more blue, just to have some variation. And painting around my rocks and leaving the whites for the wave. So now we're going to do the middle area of water, and I'm going to start with the warmer blue, the phthalo mixed with some orange to green it a bit. And the orange will dull it down a little bit and give you that good sea green color. And I will switch back and forth, making that purplish color with the French ultramarine and rose. So this whole part we're going across continuous painting from one color to the next, shifting back and forth with warm to cool. And I am doing a little bit of dry brush scraping around the rocks to try to leave some little white holes where there's some foam. And in some areas I have even more orange mixed in to make kind of a brown, like the sand's coming through. Alright, so there's our middle wave. And slash in a couple darks while it's still wet. And then I'll make that sort of periwinkle purple for the water that is going back into the sea. And I'll leave some dry brush scrapes at the end so that there's a little bit of foam. And here I'm touching in little bits of that phthalo blue just so that there's a little bit of variation again. And then I'll mix some orange with the French ultramarine to make brown and lighten it with a little bit of yellow, and that is my sand color. And then I'll dry brush scrape coming in the other way now, keep those white gaps. And for the base layer of the rocks, just a little bit darker than that sand layer, so more orange and blue, a little bit less water. So just go ahead and put that underpainting for all the rocks, same color. And here I'm keeping that little gap in the rocks where the water is crashing through them. So now we'll mix up an even darker brown, add a little bit of rose to the orange and blue, and start putting in some of those sort of angular shapes. And keeping the sunny side up on top. And now for the darkest mix, I've got the orange with the French ultramarine and very little water. Make that dark gray color. And then I'll add some dark purpley blue mix for a couple shadows by the rocks. And now with my bristle brush, I am scrubbing and lifting out some of the paint so I have those soft fluffy edges around the waves. Now just adding some shading. So I got that kind of purple blue mix again, and darkest at the bottom area, and then lighter as it goes up. And the last little bit is just flicking on the white gouache with the toothbrush to get that last little bit of misty spray. You can also use that to cover any little mistakes maybe that you might have made. Just float some white spray over it. And there you have it. That's about it.